You're asleep, but Shein's algorithm just spotted something that'll be in your cart by tomorrow. A tiny handbag hitting 2.3 million TikTok views in 6 hours. The AI calculates demand, profit margins, and how fast they can copy it. 72 hours later, that exact bag is on Shein for $4.99. But here's what nobody knows. This isn't just fast fashion. This is a $100 billion business model that's about to destroy every traditional retailer on Earth. While Nike and Adidas guess what customers want, Shein knows with 97% accuracy. 847 million data points processed daily. Their customer acquisition cost? $7. Nike's? $38. But here's the part that'll shock you. They don't sell clothes. They sell data-driven dopamine hits. Average customer buys 8.2 times per year. Industry average? 2.1 times. Last quarter alone, they processed 2.4 billion user interactions, each click worth 73 cents in behavioral intelligence. But this is child's play compared to what they do next. H&M takes 6 months concept to shelf. Shein does it in 6 hours. 6 months versus 6 hours. 40,000 products per year versus 3.6 million. This isn't improvement. This is category annihilation. Their secret weapon? 7,000 suppliers locked into real-time demand data. No inventory, no forecasting, no fashion risk. Working capital efficiency. 890% better than Zara. Inventory turnover. 47 days versus 180 days. But here's where it gets truly ruthless. 10 notifications daily. Each one calculated for maximum conversion probability based on your emotional state. They know you stress shop at 11:43 p.m. They know payday makes you 340% more likely to buy. Session length, 47 minutes. Conversion rate, 12.3%. Industry average, 2.1%. But the real genius is their slot machine psychology. Spinning wheels, limited time offers, point systems, artificial scarcity. Revenue per user increased 340% since implementing behavioral manipulation tactics. But this psychological warfare is just the beginning. They call it trend forecasting. Federal courts call it systematic IP theft. 90+ copyright lawsuits. Average settlement cost, $50,000. Revenue from each stolen design, $2 million. ROI on design theft, 4,000%. Their AI scans Instagram 24/7, identifies successful designs, launches copies before original creators can scale production. Maria spent 6 months perfecting a floral pattern. Shein copied it in 4 days and beat her to market. It's not crime. It's calculated competitive intelligence with legal costs built into the profit model. But this strategy just triggered something that could kill them overnight. February 2025. EU launches criminal investigation. $100 billion valuation to $30 billion in 18 months. $70 billion in value destroyed. Revenue growth collapsed from 100% to 19%. Profit margins fell from 8% to 2%. But here's the nuclear option nobody saw coming. US Congress is closing the $800 de minimis loophole. Shein processes 30% of all packages, exploiting this system. Without it, their $4 dresses become $12 dresses overnight. Their entire cost advantage disappears. Game over. But wait, something even bigger is happening. While Shein fights regulators, Amazon quietly launched their own ultra-fast fashion division. Made-for-you program, AI-driven demand prediction, 3-day production cycles. TikTok is building supply chain integration. Zara launched real-time fashion. The Shein model isn't dying. It's being weaponized by companies with infinite capital. Netflix studied their engagement tactics. Tesla adopted their direct-to-consumer psychology. But here's what terrifies traditional retailers. Every major company is now building their own version of Shein's psychological manipulation engine. What happens when behavioral addiction becomes standard business practice? They turn shopping into a casino, and it's working. Average user checks app 4.2 times daily. Peak usage, 2:47 a.m. and 11:23 p.m. The algorithm learns your vulnerability windows. Bad breakup? Work stress? Financial pressure? That 85% discount wasn't random. It was calculated based on your emotional state and purchase history. Their real asset isn't manufacturing. It's behavioral data on 150 million addicted consumers. Customer lifetime value, $247. Data value per customer, $89 annually. But here's where the story takes a terrifying turn. Food delivery apps copied their scarcity tactics. Streaming services implemented their addiction mechanics. Uber Eats, only 2 drivers nearby. Netflix, last chance to watch. Shein didn't just disrupt fashion. They created a blueprint for psychological manipulation at scale. Every app on your phone now uses some version of their engagement model. The question isn't whether Shein survives. The question is, what happens when every company adopts psychological manipulation as their core business model? Shein owns purchasing behavior data on 150 million people. They know what you'll buy before you do. This data is worth more than their entire manufacturing operation. But here's the part that changes everything. They're not a fashion company anymore. They're a data company that happens to sell clothes. Revenue diversification beyond fashion, electronics, home goods, beauty. Total addressable market, $2.3 trillion. They're not competing with H&M. They're competing with Amazon. But their biggest competitive advantage is something nobody talks about. Third-party sellers, marketplace fees, logistics as a service. They're becoming the Amazon of behavioral manipulation. Every transaction generating psychological insights worth 10 times the product profit. 40% of their revenue now comes from third-party sellers, platform fees, 12% of gross merchandise value. But here's what should terrify every CEO watching this. The companies copying their model have deeper pockets and better regulatory relationships. What happens when Amazon perfects Shein's psychological tactics with infinite capital? Traditional retailers are dying, not from better products or lower prices, from superior customer psychology, from addiction-level engagement, from behavioral data advantages. Forever 21, bankrupt. Topshop, collapsed. American Apparel, extinct. Shein proved you can scale addiction mechanics to $32 billion annually. Every competitor is now building their own behavioral manipulation engine. The future isn't about better products, it's about better psychological control. And most companies have no idea how to compete. Real-time demand sensing, behavioral economics integration, psychology-optimized interfaces. This is the new business blueprint. Learn it or die. Companies implementing these strategies fastest will dominate their industries. The ones that don't will become extinct. McKinsey predicts 60% of traditional retailers will close within 5 years. Because what Shein discovered isn't just about fashion, it's about turning human psychology into predictable revenue streams. And every industry is about to be disrupted by companies that understand this. You think this is about cheap clothes? It's about the future of customer relationship management. Every app on your phone will use some version of Shein's engagement model. Grocery stores tracking your hunger patterns. Car dealers manipulating your commute stress. The question isn't whether you'll encounter these tactics. The question is, will you recognize them when you do? Because the business world just changed forever, and most people have no idea what hit them. But Shein is just the beginning. Amazon perfected it for everything. Netflix weaponized it for entertainment. Tesla applied it to automotive. Every industry has a psychological manipulation disruptor coming, and I'm going to show you exactly how they'll reshape your market. Subscribe if you want to see the behavioral tactics that are about to dominate every industry. The psychology revolution is here. Make sure you profit from it before it destroys you.